Hi Scorpio, welcome to Pure Tarot. I'm doing a reading for the full moon in Virgo. I've started with Libra. I have no clue why. I usually do the signs in the order of the zodiac. But here we are. I'm looking at, so the full moon energy, we're the 17th. I know it's tomorrow, but we're within, reach. We're under the beams kind of thing. I'm going to pull an overarching energy out of an oracle deck, which I forget the name. I have two different decks for exploring two different sides. It's not a love reading, but if it does come out, it might play out as the two sides being, you on one side and the other person on the other, of course. But I don't really necessarily want to impose this. I would like the cards to decide for themselves, right? Just for them to decide on what they want to tell you is what I mean to say. So let's just get these cards and start talking about you. Okay. Reconsider. So let's get some cards before considering what this reconsidering is about. Let's look at that together. Okay, well, that was quick. I might pull some more. For now, let's just start. I have the Ten of Wands in reverse, Justice in reverse, and the Eight of Pentacles. Let's see if some cards here want to come out. Sometimes I just did Libra. The cards weren't complying, right? They didn't want to come out. I decided to put the deck down and look on one side first. So let's see if the same thing happens or if some cards want to come out already. Okay, Fool, the Fool. What else on the Fool? The Three of Wands. This one fell. Okay, I'll take it. And the Nine of Swords. Interesting. So the two sides are, I feel, sort of kind of balancing out each other in the sense that both sides have two cards that are more positive, quote unquote, and then one card that sort of gives a twist, right? Brings in a twist. So in this case here, we have the Ten of Wands, Justice in reverse with the Eight of Pentacles. So Justice in reverse here is the is the black sheep of the lot of the three. I feel like you're easing up on work. I feel like you're having a moment where you're able to, your load is not as heavy as usual. I feel like you're a workaholic, especially with the Ten of Wands. Even so, I feel like you've been able to kind of ease up, manage to get a breather, without necessarily losing any money nor business. That's not at stake at all. Although contractually you might be maybe not on time in terms of your deliveries. That's really interesting. So there's something unfair with this situation where either the unfairness was on you from the get-go, from being overloaded, having anyway just work for two, but being single, being the only one trying to tackle all of it on your own. It also pertains, like I said, to maybe not, needing to slow down, but maybe it does have an impact overall, like maybe not necessarily on the money or the quality of the work, I should say, but maybe in terms of deadlines. That's a possibility. On this side, the Fool, the Three of Wands, and this Nine of Swords, right? So the Nine of Swords on this side is the black sheep. It's interesting. I'm going to look at it as one, all of it being you, right? Not necessarily analyzing this as two different situations, more like a continuation of the story, just different decks giving a different light. And we'll see how it really ties in with reconsider, or the act of reconsidering. I'm curious about that. I feel it has to do with both black sheep cards. But let me backtrack and go back to this here. So this Fool with the Three of Wands, right? I feel a lot of impetus. Is that in being in French? I don't know. We say. I think it's so it's spelled impetus. It's like the sort of the impulsion, right, to do something, like the energy that's behind the impulsion. So I'm not sure if it's an English word. I think it is. I think it's the same in French as well. So that's why I'm making sure I'm spelling it. Maybe look it up. But I know what it means. So it's exactly what I'm saying about the particular energy needed to actually move into action, right? So that's what the Fool feels like, is for starters, but also like particularly in this case, right? And this impetus, or like almost impetuous sort of drive, is geared towards launching yourself towards. It's funny. I'm saying to launch yourself, but usually the Three of Wands, things are coming to you. And I don't know, it feels like the opposite. It feels like, especially combined with the Fool here, it feels like it's something that you're going for. It's different. The movement is in the other direction. But it is something that you were seeking. That's what I'm sensing, and that's why the force is being driven outward instead of having things come to you. It's because it has something to do with some, like a desire, like something you've been seeking. So it's almost like instead of waiting for it to come, you're deciding to go for it. Like she has this basket of flowers here, right? She's about to almost like the act of planting seeds, right? But it's more like spreading rose petals, or I don't know, flowers at least, and so it feels like that's why it's outward, right? It's an outward motion. It's you going, like it's you extending yourself towards something else, someone else, whatever. But it's a reverse movement. But it is making you quite anxious. I sense anxiety, or at least a lot of stress, right? It's making you like pray, to pray it's gonna go well. Those tree trunks, right? They're like all those trees have been cut. It's a really interesting imagery here. Maybe what's stressing you is, this is how I'm seeing it, you know, like you see these wands. It's almost like these trees on the Fool here. There's more, there's many actually in the background. But like, it's almost like you're stressed that your dreams are gonna get cut in, you know, like, so like, and these are grown trees, right? So like, they're not little shoots. So it's really interesting. Maybe you're afraid that, I get the word YOLO, and no, not YOLO, because YOLO is you only live once. What's the other one? The fear of missing out, the FOMO. It's the FOMO energy kind of thing. Almost like you're afraid something is gonna, yeah, the fear of missing out. That's why you're going for it, you know, like you're going for it, but like the little dog here is nipping at your garments, trying to stop you. But the little dog is basically your stress and your anxiety chewing at you, sort of, kind of warning you, or simply like replaying old situations where you had things that were, for some reason I get the word cut out of your life. I know it's not the Ten of Swords, but it still feels, because of the imagery, it reflects back to that, right? And those are, like I said, mature things that, so you wouldn't have lost out on things that hadn't grown. Like you've lost big here, like in the past. And you might have forgiven, right? You've forgiven. Like this sort of attitude in the prayer mode is like showing me you've forgiven these past people, past situations, or these past people in those past situations, whatever it was, it's irrelevant. You would know. And they're multiple, right? So it's simply, it pertains to that play, right? And like I said, this is, I'm telling you, the Reconsider card has to do with the black sheep on each side here. The Reconsidering is this energy of the little dog nipping at you, obviously making you reconsider going towards what you're looking for. And I really prefer using the word going after what you seek. And here, also having to reconsider, right, based on past experiences, or knowing that either you're legally breaching contracts by not delivering, or, you know, I'm even going to go as far as, you know, maybe doing something that is not so in line with, you know, how things should get done, if you follow me. And if it's not something like that, it's simply, you know, being in reverse, right? Reconsidering. I mean, this figure has a sword here, just like the Justice has the mighty sword. So it's interesting, reconsidering maybe even your own judgment of a situation, because in justice, you're being judged, right? Even if it's not the Judgment card. Do you know what I mean? So maybe you're reconsidering the way you viewed something, obviously, the preconceived notions, and yeah, the way you judged it, the way you, it's interesting. But it's also interesting that I see you perform on each side. I see you being extremely driven and having a lot of energy to put in. Even here with the Ten of Wands in reverse, right? If you're lightening your load, right? You're sort of taking a breather, but it's still, I guess it's replenishing your energy in some ways. Maybe the breather you're taking on this side here from maybe a more conventional workplace has to do with the time and energy you would spend and invest here on this other endeavor, possibly more than one here with the Three of Wands. Whatever it is, right? It's not important if I pinpoint exactly what it is and how many things and in which domain. It's irrelevant here. But whatever energy you're putting in was needed to be secured to seek out something that you previously were waiting for that you don't want to wait for anymore. But is on each side there's this tinge of not so sure, right? You're not so sure with the Justice, and you're obviously like all the way you have sort of a knot in your stomach when you think about it here with the Nine of Swords. I pulled an extra card for Libra out of this deck. I mean, I did have something to clarify for them, but I don't know. I feel like I want to do this for you as well. Maybe in your case, I'm going to clarify the first card, the Reconsider card. This one. What does it say? If you believe. That's interesting. So for me, the if you believe is asking you to obviously, keep putting out those prayers out there. Keep seeking. Keep working. Make some time, make some space to recoup and invest yourself in things that, fill your cup and fill your energy back up, right? For some reason, this also points to something, like I said, it's this thing where you've been wanting something to come to you, but now you're in I'm gonna go get it mode. You still need to believe that you'll get it, if you know what I mean. Like, it's almost how can I say it? You might have been so stressed in the past that, when you were waiting for it, that it wasn't coming to you, that you were obviously left with no choice, right? Almost like it wasn't going to work out for you. So even in the motion of going out there and making it happen, which has a lot more, how can I say? It's all fine and well to be manifesting, but you do have to put out some actions to make things move, right? To make things happen. So that sometimes people think it's magically gonna appear, which is kind of true, but it's also not true. I mean, to an extent. So it's a little bit of that. You have to keep the faith. I want to say, since I was clarifying this card with this one, I feel like maybe on a past situation, well, it feels like past, right? Or even if it's current or past, it's not future. I don't sense it to be future. I feel like you already know what it is you need to reconsider here. It's almost you cannot reconsider unless you open yourself up to the possibility that it can happen, or that it can work out, or whatever it is, right? I don't know which verb to use, in the sense that I don't know exactly the situation behind it, but there's how can I put it? If you stop believing, there's no room for an improvement. There's not even room for anything to change, or for anything to different to get created pertaining to that situation. Obviously, you can create anything else that's new to replace it, but in terms of reconsidering a particular thing or situation, whatever, relationship, I'm just really intrigued. I do want you to think that you should probably reconsider certain actions, right? Two things, moving with too much haste, and with the Fool here. And also, like I said, maybe not being able to meet your deadlines or your contractual obligations. I keep coming back to that, right? Certain legalities, or anything that binds you. Which might be what you reconsider, by the way. It could be that you don't want these ties anymore. I mean, if I'm going to go as far as that, because I don't know the situation, but it could apply for some of you. That what you're reconsidering is this particular contract, job contract, or just simply a service contract, or whatever. If you sell products, delivering your products, whatever. But it's really interesting how you're sort of spreading beauty. I hadn't seen that before, right? It's much more, like I was saying, the extension of yourself towards something or someone. But there's going to be something beautiful out of that gesture, coming out of that gesture. Or simply the fact that you're doing that is beautiful, right? Because I think it's different from what you've experienced in the past, maybe. There's a sort of, it takes a lot of purity here with the Fool, right? You need to be innocent to open yourself up and be vulnerable. To be the one making, let's say, the gesture, the approach, the invite, or the proposal, or just the move, or whatever it is, right? It doesn't have to be a relationship. It could be in any sphere. That's interesting. So you would know what you have to reconsider. But faith is needed, definitely. And maybe even prayer. And if it's not prayer, if you don't like to pray, you could just work on affirmations, or, visualization, things like that. Or just do something that keeps you in a high vibe state, like listening to music you love, laughing, dancing, watching I don't know, a funny movie, eating good food, going for a walk, I don't know, petting your dog, whatever it is, kissing your child. Anyways, I will end the reading here. If you did like it, please give me a thumbs up, share and subscribe. I will see you soon. Thank you.